play when you feeling down and it isn't, right? Play this shit right here, resuscitate your pimp and it gets you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, it's that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe.
Wipe your feet off at the door when you come into a pimp's domain.
Get you right back on.
Hit that button, it look like that, man. Hit that like button.
Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My horse win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dope. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mashed for hours, hooking baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like the renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid bitches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite. Blowing up on the pimp and then missing when the time is right. But when they like get strike, they see pimpers shining bright. But they action is life without bitch, one strike you out. Oh, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashing for these bitches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician, niggas. Smoking mirrors with your gang, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lane. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock the doors. 10-footed and wooded in them doctor shows. Soft shit rituals, my new residuals. Papers on life support, your loots and criticals. Something I learned about with running my
Oh man, wipe your feet off at the door when you come into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button one time for a pimp.
That's knocking one of you niggas for some
Come on in here, man. Grab your seat. Grab your love. Put your love in your body.
I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced and permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard. I make that trapping ass bad bitch wanna hold hard. Can't stop, won't stop. Popping pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Popping pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Popping pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Popping pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin' man, pop that shit. Show me sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wipe your feet off at the door when you come into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button, man.
Let them know that the best way to floss.
Shop this good game today, as usual.
Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin' nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga.
Welcome. I see y'all tapping in with a pimp this afternoon, this evening, wherever you at. Once again, y'all go ahead and hit that like button, man. Hold on, let me get my shit together so I can see what y'all talking about. Jay Jones, good looking with the $5 holla. I want to stop seeing pros because I want to find someone that actually likes me as a person, but I'm afraid of approaching women. Do you have advice? Invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself the right way, you're going to know what to do. Invest in yourself. That's the best advice I can give you. I appreciate y'all tapping in. and tuning in with a pimp. It's sad, man. It's like the times that we live in right now, every time we turn around, somebody done passed away, man. So we gonna take a special sip of love for James Mtume. For those of y'all who don't know who James Mtume is, he was a member of the group Mtume, who the most familiar hit from them that y'all might remember is Juicy. The same hit that Biggie sampled in his song Juicy. You dig? So, this is for the celebration of the life of James Mtume and Bob Saget. Bob Saget, for those of y'all who too young to remember, Bob Saget was the dad. He was Danny Tanner on Full House, and he was the host of America's Funniest Home Videos. You dig? Really kind of like a precursor for a lot of the shit that you see on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all that shit, right? So, best and blessings to the loved ones of James Mtume and Bob Saget, you dig? Mm-hmm. Yes, indeedy. Times that we live. What in the feezy? Hold on, let me get my shit together, man. But yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for wiping your feet off at the door, man. Today we talking about Venom versus value, man. Which one is your mind wired to give? Because a lot of people's minds are wired to give certain things and they don't even realize the shit. See, when it comes to your mind being wired to give value to others or values to situations that you involve yourself in, that's something that you got to be intentional about. That's something that you got to be proactive about, something that you got to make happen, right? Sometimes we do it inadvertently when it's just in our nature to be that way. But in most cases, that's something that you got to be proactive about and you got to make it happen, right? On the flip side of that coin, when it comes to adding venom to your own life, venom to the lives of others, or venom to situations that you involve yourself in, a lot of times people do that inadvertently. They do it without even trying. They do it without even being conscious of the fact that that's what they're doing, right? And the way that the world is set up nowadays, especially here in America, man, more people's minds are wired to add venom to their own life and to the lives of others around them every chance they get, every opportunity they get. See, as I told y'all, I deleted all the social medias off my phone, right? Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. I wasn't really big on Twitter, but I deleted Twitter. All the other little smaller social medias, I didn't even understand how TikTok worked, but I still had that on my phone, but I deleted that shit. So I never was into TikTok anyway. But I removed all social medias from my phone, right? And a big part of the reason why I removed all the social medias from my phone is because it's just like a feeding ground for venom. A lot of those popular profiles on Instagram like Shade Room, World Star, TMZ, all of that shit, right? Sometimes they sprinkle a little bit of good in there. That's where they get certain individuals, right? They sprinkle a little bit of value in there. Like what I just mentioned, the passing of Bob Saget and the passing of James Mtume. I'm pretty sure they mentioned those pieces of news on there, right? And that could be valuable to some people because that you might have love for those individuals, and it's it's informative to you, right? But beyond that, that's where they hook you in. Some people, right? Some people who don't want to deal with the negativity, some people's minds who aren't wired to add venom to their own life and to the lives of others, right? That's where they might get you with certain things like that. They make certain, news announcements that's positive, right? Then once they got your attention, they just shove a bunch of venom down your throat if you stay tuned into it, right? This celebrity is getting into it with that celebrity. This husband and wife broke up and they having a nasty divorce. You know what I mean? Such and such. Like somebody, I don't know, man. I don't know how accurate or true it is, man, but somebody sent me a video. Somebody sent me a video of Kodak Black fucking at the motherfucking I think it was a hockey game or something. And that shit is funny, right? But when you go into the comment sections of these posts, it's a lot of hatred. It's a lot of bashing. It's a lot of just, non-productive, non-constructive conversation going on in these comment sections, man. And sometimes it'd be funny, but a lot of that shit is hater shit. It's a lot of haterism in that bullshit, right? And it's easy to get wrapped up in that shit. And before you know it, you spreading venom to other individuals, right? So like I said, that's one of the main reasons why I deleted all the social medias off my phone, especially Instagram, because a lot of times people will DM me negative shit, right? As y'all already know, it's a major hater in the game that is obsessed with telling lies about me, obsessed with telling lies about Sinful and other individuals in the game, right? But that individual means no good to anybody in the game. He don't even mean no good to himself, right? Let alone anyone else. But so whenever he mentions me or talks about me, people put it in my DM. And they probably think that they're being helpful, but really they not. And I'm saying this for the people who might, might have, done so in the past, right? You're not really being helpful. I can see if, see what you got to keep in mind, like I said, man. The majority of what that boy talks about over there is lies. It's non-factual, right? And then even beyond him, whether it's him or anybody else that you see spreading bad news, don't just take the shit and run with it. See, that's the beauty of the internet. You can research and fact check anything that anybody says on the internet. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers say Sinful got deported. Don't nobody even think to fact check the shit. They just want to run around and tell people that shit to the point where people who aren't even on Instagram are talking about the shit. Oh man, I heard Sinful got deported, man. Man, I hope that ain't true. Like have some type of scrutiny. Fact check some shit before you just run around spreading the bullshit. Because in the streets or wherever, when you say I heard, I don't know if it's true, you might be thinking like that, but whoever you're telling that to, they receiving it as facts. Man, I don't know. I heard, man, I don't know how true it is, man, but I heard the feds is looking for freeze. The motherfucker that you telling that shit to is like, the feds looking for freeze? For real? Damn. Shit. And then that next motherfucker they talk to, man, I heard, man, the feds out there looking for freeze, man. That shit all over the internet, man. They out there looking for freeze. Yet and still you see that I'm here. And this has been done so many times. And it's been proven to be lies so many times. But I don't know. Some people wish it was true. And then some people are just obsessed with the venom. Some people are just addicted to venom that, they just, they like the way venom tastes or whatever. They entertain that bullshit and they spread that bullshit. But it's ultimately venom. It's not doing anybody any good. And it can do people harm. It can cause people stress. It can tarnish somebody's reputation for spreading false news. It's just it doesn't serve any good to spread any kind of news that comes from an individual like that or other individuals that are similar, other individuals that are bent on negativity and spreading bullshit, right? Preem Team, the Coalition, good looking with the $5 holla. Big blessings, OG, the ATL way. We love your content. I appreciate you. Preem Team, the Coalition, good looking. Yeah, but some people, like I said, man, their minds are just wired to add venom to their own lives and add venom to the lives of others. And see, when you get into the habit of that shit on social media, that shit transcends to other aspects of your life, other areas of your life. And before you know it, you just a venomous motherfucker. You gossiping about other people to other people. You know what I mean? You gossiping about this family member to that family member. You gossiping to this pimp about that pimp. You gossiping to this hoe about that hoe. You just into like a lot of gossip. And see, like I said, a lot of this shit has to do with social media, right? It's a seed that gets watered and nurtured and grown into a damn monstrous ass tree from social media, right? And then it comes to a point where when you like I talked about the other day when I went live, man, like, negative conversations and meaningless, useless, senseless conversations, right? See me, I'm really a pimp, right? So I really enjoy kicking game. I enjoy being enlightened and I enjoy enlightening, right? Whether I'm on the receiving end or the giving end, I just like enlightenment. That's something that I enjoy being a part of, right? Go Professor, good looking with the $5 holla. Indeed, God is all in all, supporting the channel. Go Professor, good looking, man. But I just enjoy being a part of enlightenment, whether it's receiving it or giving it, right? And that's the way the pimping is. That's something that we thrive on in this lifestyle is game. We just that's like it's almost like the blood that flows through our veins or the air that we breathe, man. Like game is just a vital part of this lifestyle, and me myself, I don't like being in circles where the majority of what's being talked about is other people, and especially in a negative type of way. At least if you're gonna talk about other people in the game, when you in pimp circles or whatever the case may be, at least let it be congratulatory. At least let it be celebratory. At least let it be positive, constructive, inspiring, motivating. You know what I mean? Let it be something like that. Savvy Sav, good looking with the $10 holla. I don't even let my friends gossip to me in real life. The time it took to tell me in the brief moments I'm thinking about it are both wastes of time. Indeed. I agree with you on that, man. But like I said, a lot of people's minds are wired to add venom to their own life and add venom to the lives of others, and they don't even realize the shit. Like I say time and time again, you are what you eat. So if you feed yourself a bunch of venom, then guess what? You're going to turn into some venom. You're just going to be a walking source of venom. And whenever you engage with people, you're going to be doing your best to impart venom to those individuals without even understanding what you're doing. You know, and it's crazy because, you know, social media can be a beautiful thing, right? It can serve some just causes. It can serve some beneficial purposes, right? You know, and people whose minds are wired to add value use it for that. And it's a lot of good game on social media. It's a lot of good information. It's a lot of inspirational content on social media. So, you know, social media can be a beautiful thing. But again, when it comes to value, value is something that you got to be intentional about. And a part of being intentional about value is just wanting more out of life, taking life more seriously, understanding what's available to you in life so that you can want more and be more and do more and have more. But like I say all the time, when you stand for less, you fall for more. And when you don't stand for value, you're going to fall for venom. So when you don't stand for adding value to yourself, mentally, physically, spiritually, when you don't stand for that, you're going to fall for the venom that's put in your face. The negativity, the drama, the nonsense, you know, and sometimes that shit is funny. I understand that. But a lot of times it ain't funny. And what's really not funny is when that shit dominates your time and it dominates your thinking, which in turn dominates your behavior. You know, it might seem like, you know, something is cool for a moment when you engaging in the comment section in these negative posts or whatever the case may be. It might seem funny, it might seem cool. And then when you get people to respond to your funny or negative comment, and now, you know, you getting all this attention from this comment that you made on this post that got 1 million likes and all this so stupid ass shit, you know, that shit might seem cool. But before you know it, you get wrapped up in that shit for hours. And what type of value did you add to your life? What type of value did you add to the lives of the people that you engaging with in this comment section? What type of value did you add to the lives of your loved ones, the people around you? You know what I mean? Some motherfuckers be so wrapped up in the negativity and the drama on social media that they be neglecting their kids, they significant others, all type of shit. But it's just venom. And, you know, venom is harmful. Venom does nobody any good. That's what venom is, right? Venom is poison. And a lot of times you get wrapped up in the bullshit because it feels so good, it tastes good, look good, all that shit, right? You know, what you don't understand is you wiring yourself to spread venom, to spread bullshit. You know, and let me tell you, man, it's just a beautiful thing when you play a part in adding value to the lives of others. See, people get so wrapped up in the shit that gets promoted on social media. Like I've said before, man, when it comes to this lifestyle that we live of pimping and hoeing, but not just pimping and hoeing, but the urban culture, period. You know, whether it's pimping and hoeing, gang banging, selling dope or hip hop, or you know, it ain't even gotta be nothing illegal. You know what I mean? Whether it's hip hop or sports or acting, you know, any type of entertainment, you know, we magnify the most meaningless shit, the most foolish shit. We magnify the dumbest shit in the world, right? And what we don't magnify enough is unity. We magnify the hell out of selfishness. You know, we magnify the hell out of, you know, looking out for yourself and not looking out for nobody else. You know, of course, self-preservation is a key part of life, you know, but self-preservation ain't really that hard in most cases. Most of the time, self-preservation ain't something that you deserve a pat on the back for. You know what I mean? If you feed yourself every day and you put love in your body every day and you take a bath every day and you go to work every day and you get a paycheck every, so often, that ain't nothing that's worthy of praise. That's something that we all do. That's something that's just, customary in life is self-preservation. So that ain't nothing that you need to be like bragging about or, you know what I mean? Man, look at me, man. I'm preserving myself like a motherfucker, man. I'm living every day. Man, do you know I woke up today and then I'm going to go to sleep tonight and guess what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to wake up again. Man, that's some cold shit, ain't it? Watch tomorrow. Watch what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow, after I go to sleep tonight, tomorrow, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to wake up. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do the shit all over again. I'm going to inhale and exhale. I'm going to eat some food. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to go to work, do my job. And man, shit, man, that's some cold shit, man. You should try that shit sometime. Motherfucker, what you mean try that shit sometime? I've been trying that shit and doing it every day, just like your goofy ass. You know what I mean? But it sounds funny, but that's the type of shit that gets promoted within our lifestyle, within the urban culture. We promote and magnify the simplest shit. You know what I mean? Like this motherfucking car. Somebody will think it's like some amazing shit that I got this car, but if my credit is bad, if I'm breaking my neck to maintain this car, if I'm serving this car more than this car is serving me, if I live in the projects or a motel or something like that, you know what I mean? This shit is stupid. And I would hope that y'all would tell me that shit. Like, man, Freeze, you dumb as a motherfucker. You got that motherfucking car, nigga, and you living in the slums. Nigga, what's wrong with you, man? Like, I would hope that y'all would, if y'all gave a fuck about me, I would hope that if that was my reality, that y'all would tell me that shit, man. Like, man, Freeze, you's a dumb motherfucker, man. That car cool and everything, but shit, nigga, you pulling up to a neighborhood where, you know what I mean, somebody might break into that motherfucker any second now. You know what I mean? Like, it don't make no sense, man. Good looking King K with the $100 holler. Stay encouraged, Freeze. These suckers are out in full force. Indeed, you right about that, King K. Good looking for the blessing, man. Sinful to P with the $100 holler. Canadian dough. You know what I mean? Hey, man, I appreciate that. Glory to God for blessing us with this game. Indeed, man. Much appreciated. And Israel Yah. Good looking once again with the $100 holler. Blessings to the game. I appreciate that, man. Good looking. Yeah, man. But we have to, it would be a beautiful thing if we could get on one accord and stop magnifying. It doesn't mean that you have to down somebody for praising self-preservation. Just don't magnify that shit like it's some major shit. Like I remember, I think I told y'all this story, man, but put some love in my body. Excuse my pimping. Shout out to Dinosaurs on Instagram. But Dinosaurs was live one time on IG, right? And he always tags his he always pins his Cash App tag in the chat, right? So that people, if they want to donate, they could donate to his Cash App, right? So one night Dinosaurs was live and I donated $200 on his Cash App, right? So now mind you, this is the funny thing about this shit, right? A lot of these motherfuckers is the same ones who be hating on me, the same ones who be saying Freeze got HIV, the same ones who be saying Freeze fuck with minors, the same ones who be saying all this venomous ass bullshit about me, right? The same exact people. When Dinosaurs went on there and let it be known, oh man, Freeze, good looking out, man. I see the 200 you just sent. Man, all of a sudden, this same nigga with the HIV, the same nigga that be fucking with minors, you know what I mean? This same nigga that, God knows whatever other lies they love telling on me. The same exact nigga that these same exact people be saying this shit about, all of a sudden, man, Man, Freeze, I see you, man. Boy, you was a real nigga for that one, man. Damn, Freeze, I see you over there, baby. You shining like a motherfucker, boy. You doing it big, Freeze. And it's like, my nigga, I just, like, $200, that's not shit. Like, it's cool. It's cool that I did, but it's not like all of a sudden I was the realest nigga alive. I was like Plies, you know what I mean? Went to sleep real, woke up realer. Boy, you'd have thought I was Plies or something, man, the way they was telling me how real I was, you know, like, and I didn't even see that shit as a big deal. But that's just an example of how we magnify the smallest shit in our lifestyle. You know what I mean? What needs to be magnified that don't get magnified enough is shit like Sinful to P, you know, donating $10,000 on multiple occasions to his school and to other causes, right? Like, that's the type of shit we need to magnify in the game. To me, Sinful donating $10,000 to a school, to me, that's bigger than somebody hitting $100,000 lick in the game. To me, that's way bigger than that. You know what I mean? Because that's something that, like, you know, a bitch hitting $100,000 lick, you know, if she go out enough in the game and she do her job enough and she's consistent enough, she'll get blessed with those types of opportunities. And that's dope. It's dope as a motherfucker if a bitch hit $100,000 lick. You know what I mean? But if a bitch hit $100,000 lick, that'll be news all over the game. You know what I mean? That'll be news like, oh man, did you hear about the Treachery bitch? Boy, that bitch hit $100,000 in the Palms Casino in Vegas, man. Whoo, man, it's gonna be all over the country. Everybody in the streets is gonna be talking about that shit, and it might not even be something that gets posted or announced on social media. It's just through the wire of the game. Everybody in the streets will be talking about Tracy, who hit the $100,000 lick in the Palms. You know what I mean? Like, everybody be talking about that. But when Sinful donate $10,000 to his school, or when Young Lace does a toy drive in Houston, like, who's promoting that shit? That's the type of shit that, man, I heard Young Lace, man, did a toy drive over there in Houston, man. We should do the same thing over here. Or, man, I heard Sin donated $10,000 to his school. We should do the same thing at our school. Like, why don't that shit get talked about? How come we don't view that with the same type of excitement? How come we don't view that with the same type of enthusiasm? You know what I mean? And the reason, this is why what I want y'all to understand. Like, again, like Sinful donating $10,000 to his school. Young Lace doing a toy drive for the kids in Houston. The reason why those things are so big to me is because it's adding value to other people. You know what I mean? Sinful donated $10,000 to his school to add value to that institution so that they in turn can add more value to the kids who go there, right? Young Lace doing a toy drive in his neighborhood, or not in his neighborhood, but in Houston, you know what I mean? That's adding value to the community, right? And, you know, it's dope if a motherfucker hit $100,000 lick in the game, but 9 times out of 10, that shit ain't gonna add value to nothing. It's gonna add value to Louis Vuitton, and it's gonna add value to Ferragamo and Gucci, but they already got, man, they don't need no help with the value department, man. They value department is sold up, man, like they good. You know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, if a motherfucker hit $100,000 lick in the game, that's what they gonna do. They gonna go spend the majority of that money with people who don't even like the fact that they spending money with them. Louis don't like the fact that you spending money with them. Gucci don't like the fact that you spending money with them. You know what I mean? Like, everybody back in the days got on Tommy Hilfiger when he made a public statement that, you know, he said something to the effect of, if he knew that, you know, the urban culture would take to his clothing the way that they did, that he wouldn't have did it. Something to that effect, right? basically he said, you know, he don't want niggas buying his shit. In so many words, that's what Tommy Hilfiger said back in the day. And, you know, after that, a lot of niggas stopped wearing Tommy Hilfiger. And, you know, same thing with Donald Sterling. You know what I mean? Like Donald Sterling, he made the comment that he made and he lost his basketball team. But, you know, what motherfuckers don't understand is these corporations and these institutions, they all feel like that. The CEO of Louis Vuitton, he feel the same way as Tommy Hilfiger. And so does Ralph Lauren, and so does Gucci and Ferragamo and Alexander McQueen and Jimmy Choo and Louboutin and all of them motherfuckers. Yeah, Timberland, yeah, the motherfucker from Timberland made a similar statement as well. But what people don't understand is all of these businesses is they the same. You know what I mean? That's just like back in the days when Don Juan and God and all of them dudes that was doing their thing in Chicago was buying Rolls Royces and painting them. Rolls Royce wanted to buy the cars back from them niggas because they didn't respect them niggas. And guess what? When a nigga get, like, you know, in a good enough position, what's the first thing they do? Go to the Rolls Royce lot. You know what I mean? And you know it's okay if you want to have nice things and shit like that, but you know that's not something that we should magnify. You know, that's not something, you know, that we should glorify because it's not adding any value to us. You know what I mean? What it can potentially do is add venom to our lives. Because it's fucked up that in our culture, you know what I mean? If I get a Rolls Royce and try to take that motherfucker back to my neighborhood, them motherfuckers gonna try to get me. 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? Not thinking about the fact that I could add value to the community. Not thinking about that I might be coming to kick some game or present an opportunity to the motherfuckers from my neighborhood. All they thinking about is, he in a Rolls Royce, he got money, let's get him. You know what I mean? And here it is, you know what I mean? I end up dead or something like that, or these niggas end up in prison for trying to take my Rolls Royce, and Rolls Royce over there, they not tripping because they got the money. Rolls Royce ain't finna pay for my funeral. Rolls Royce ain't finna pay for them niggas' attorney fees and bail fees. You know what I mean? They got their money, they cool. They don't even want to get wrapped up in that shit. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say, you know, we magnify the wrong shit and we promote the wrong shit. And a lot of it has to do with the venom that we're wired to give, you know, and what we need to be doing more of is wiring our minds to add value to ourselves and add value to each other. That's what we need to be doing. You know, like, that's why a motherfucker need to be kicking game. You know, it's crazy how wired we are for the negativity and the venom, right? Like, this is what people got to understand, right? Like when it comes to Brother Polite, a lot of people got a lot of negative shit to say about Brother Polite. A lot of people got a lot of negative shit to say about Dr. Umar Johnson. You know, and you know, those individuals, they might have their ways. They might have, you know, some unsavory characteristics about themselves. But what you cannot deny is that they add value to their community. What you cannot deny is that they've added value to themselves. They've educated themselves beyond the norm. And whether you want to admit it or not, they've educated many others. Even if they don't educate others by the way that they present themselves, they inspire others to educate themselves, to seek out knowledge, to seek out game, to seek out education. That's adding value to the community. And that's ultimately what we need. So, you know, as fucked up as it may sound, You know, if Brother Polite getting some trouble for doing some weird shit, it's fucked up. But, you know, he still done added a whole bunch of value to the community and to his people. You cannot deny that. You can't take that from him. Same thing with Dr. Umar. He might get caught up in some scandal or some drama or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But he has still added value to his people. He has inspired so many people to become better and to educate themselves, to arm themselves with knowledge. This is a fact. You can't take that away. So, and what you got to understand is that nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. But us, you know what I mean? The urban culture, like I said, we wired for Venom. So, you know what I mean? A motherfucker add all this value to the community. Same thing with Bill Cosby. Like, man, don't even get me started with him. Like, that man has added so much value to the community. Like, he hard to compete with. And he been doing it for longer than most motherfuckers been alive. Like, so, but, you know, when people step forward and say, without any facts, without any proof, when they say that he did this, first thing we want to do is tear him down. You know what I mean? First thing we want to do is tear our people down, and it's fucked up. You know, if you look at other cultures and other groups of people, other communities, they don't do that. You know what I mean? They don't do that type of shit, like by the masses, the way that we do, and with the same type of enthusiasm that we do. We can't wait to tear each other down, man. We can't wait to spread venom. We can't wait to divide ourselves. You know, like, it's fucked up that it's not the case that we can't wait to unite. We can't wait to get together. We can't wait to add value to each other. We can't wait to add value to ourselves. That's the way it need to be. You dig? It's 196 of y'all in here, but only 146 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door, man. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain, please and thank you. Hit that button that look like that like button, and put some of this good old love juice in your body like so. Yes, yes. This shit right here, nigga. This good old love shit. Man. Hold on, let me go back. Richard Lee Moore, good looking with the $5 holla. Lachelle's Reed, good looking with the $20 holla. Glory to the game. Excited to see you back at it. Good looking, man. I appreciate you for that. Much love. Cool Way, good looking with the $20 holla. You dig? Yeah, man. But yeah, you know, I even think about the game, right? Us as pimps, the pimping and the hoeing, right? The lifestyle that we live, man. You know, it's crazy what the game has come to. It's crazy the way that the majority of us are programmed and wired to be in the game. You know, we say the shit all the time, and it's true. What we say all the time is true. The fact that the whole world is against us. That is the truth. Like, if you a pimp or a hoe, 9 times out of 10, your family is against you. Your flesh and blood is against you. Let alone motherfuckers from your neighborhood or who you went to school with or anybody. You know what I mean? Like, the world is against you. If you signed up to be a pimp or a hoe, 9 times out of 10, the world is against you, right? And we know that. If somebody says that, like, I could say that to any pimp in the world. Man, the world is against us. The pimping gonna agree. I could say that to any hoe in the world. You know what I mean? The world is against us. it ain't really no hoes that's gonna deny that neither, right? Yet and still, we against each other tougher than probably any other group of people. And the fucked up thing about it is we more up close and personal with each other than any square, any outsider. We deal with each other up close and personal on a regular basis, but we more against each other than we ever have been. And see, people don't understand, like, you know, they don't, a lot of people in the game don't pay attention to the way of the world, the way things is going, the direction things continue to go in. Motherfuckers don't pay attention. And if you pay attention, you know, the more divided we become in the game, the more hateful we become towards one another in the game, the more venomous we become towards one another in the game, the harder the world goes on us. The harder the laws become on us. The harsher the sentencing becomes. The harsher the guidelines become. You know what I mean? You know, motherfuckers don't see the way shit is going. Like, before you know it, they gonna have a pimp enhancement just like they got a gang enhancement. You know what I mean? You might get caught, you know, shit. You know what I mean? For a petty theft or some shit like that. But if you a pimp, you gonna get a motherfucking 10-year pimp enhancement. You know what I mean? They gonna have us on the pimp file. Just like they got in LA, how they got the gang file. They gonna have a pimp file in a minute. You know what I mean? Just like how when you put your name, it might be Jamal Edwards. You know what I mean? If you in LA and they put Jamal Edwards in the system, it's gonna pop up as Jamal Edwards, aka J Loke from Whoopty Whoop Crip. You know what I mean? Or Whoopty Whoop Bloods or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how LA is. You know, and motherfuckers ain't paying attention to the way shit going. Like, they view us worse than the gang members now. They give us more time than they give the gang members now. You know what I mean? And before you know it, it's gonna be a damn a pimp file where when they put my name in, Jason Wilridge, aka Freeze the Pimp, you know what I mean? From such and such pimps. You know what I mean? From even though I ain't from it, you know what I mean? They gonna group me with the Hollywood division. You know what I mean? Freeze or Jason Wilridge, aka Freeze is it, Freeze the Pimp from the Hollywood division. You know what I mean? You know they gonna have such and such whoopty whoop Tyrone Jones, aka Stomp Down Mackin from the Compton division. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds funny, but this is what it's coming to. But a big part of the reason why it's coming to that is because we so divided. And within our division, we so treacherous towards one another. See, the pimp game, it ain't supposed to be no treachery in the game. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, you might have a treacherous trick that's out there doing certain shit to hoes, or, you know what I mean, might even be trying to do something to the pimping. But those of us in the game, we not supposed to be treacherous individuals towards each other. You know what I mean? Like, maybe treacherous towards somebody that's trying to harm us or trying to harm one of us. Yeah, that's understandable, but we not supposed to be treacherous towards one another, man. And it's been like, especially in the past like 10 years, man, really the past like 5-6 years, but even in the past 10 years, it's been a lot of you know, pimp on pimp violence, man. A lot of hoe on hoe violence. Hoes be shooting each other now. Like, that shit is crazy. How can a hoe, somebody that the world is against, that everybody in the world despises except for the pimping and other hoes, how can you bring yourself to draw a firearm on another hoe and shoot that bitch? Like, for real. And 9 times over 10, it'll be over some money. You know, some bitches might have hit a lick together and the shit didn't get split the way the bitch saw it was supposed to get split. So she turned around and shoot the bitch because of that. These are real life situations that happen. you know, this bitch might be jealous of that bitch. You know what I mean? This wifey jealous of that wifey. You know what I mean? So because that wifey, she came in the house and heard that wifey getting some dick from they folks. You know what I mean? So she stabbed her wifey. Like, these is real life situations that happen in the game. You know, and a big part of the reason for this shit is because, you know, pimping be, you know, well, I'll say motherfuckers in the game be promoting this type of shit. They encourage this type of shit. You know what I mean? And, you know, motherfuckers be so bent on money. Hey, people don't understand the value of people. People don't understand, like, what a jewel a person is, a human being. Like, man, the human life is the most valuable, like, precious thing in existence. Like, what's more valuable than a human being? Like, people don't understand the value of people. You know, like I've said all the time, man, like, you know, when Malcolm X was playing a part in building the Nation of Islam, you know, he had so many people behind him. He had so many people that he added value to, and they in turn valued him as an individual, right? And it was so much power in that. And Malcolm X never had a lot of money, never in his life. A lot of you motherfuckers watching right now didn't have more money than Malcolm X ever had. You know what I mean? But he didn't value that. And I'm pretty sure, as brilliant of a mind as he had, that if he put his mind on just getting some money, could have easily did that. But he saw the value in something way more precious than just some money, and that was people. You know what I mean? And he's somebody that's gonna be revered forever. You know, the man been dead over 50 years, going on 60 years, but we still talk about him to this day. And it ain't because he had a bunch of money or he was a great businessman or no shit like that. No, it was because ultimately he played a part in adding value to people. And that's something that those of us in the game, if we understood that concept better, the money would just be so much greater. It's sad, man, like, the world is just like leaving us behind, and motherfuckers don't even see that shit. The whole world is leaving pimping and hoeing behind. You know what I mean? And it's because the majority of us in the game, we have such archaic mindsets. We have such archaic outlooks. You know what I mean? The way that we view the world is so outdated. It's crazy. Like, you know, it's so many motherfuckers, like I say all the time, man. In 2020, 5 million people in the world became millionaires. In 2021, I'm pretty sure that number was bigger than that. This year, it might be even more than that. Millions of people are becoming millionaires around the world. Motherfuckers from all different walks of life. How many pimps and hoes became millionaires in 2020, though? How many pimps and hoes became millionaires in 2021? You know what I mean? And it's not because it can't be done. It's not because the money is not available. It's because of the way that we see. As I say all the time, in order to be big, you have to see big. And if you see small, you're going to be small. And we see small as a motherfucker, man. You know, like, it's a motherfucker somewhere right now with a bitch that's bird feeding him because the bitch is sitting over there coming back with a story every night talking about what the Tricks said that they ain't got. The Tricks ain't got $100. The Tricks ain't even got $80. Like, I didn't make no money last night because every trick that came to me only wanted to spend $50. Like, I'm not doing no $50 date. Just no game at all. And the nigga, you know what I mean? He ain't got no game for the bitch. He don't even know what to say to this bitch. So he just like, Another night, man, we ain't got shit. You know what I mean? Because motherfuckers don't value game anymore. Value the fuck out of some Venom. Love the fuck out of some Venom. You know what I mean? You know, that same bitch to come in with a story about how many tricks told her that what they didn't have and all that other type of shit. If she come in with a story about some juicy ass gossip, you know what I mean? Pimpin' gonna be entertained by that shit. He gonna be salivating at the mouth about that shit, about the drama, the story, you know what I mean, of the drama that took place on the track. You know, he gonna be excited about that, but he not gonna be excited about adding value to this hoe. That's why she going out there and, you know, Tricks is telling her about this $50 that they got, and she, you know, of course, rightfully so, understands that, you know, $50 ain't enough for her. But, you know, what she don't understand, and it's because what he don't understand, what both of these motherfuckers don't understand is, like, first of all, bitch, you know what I mean? Your outfit is trash. Your dress code is trash. You know what I mean? Before you even open your mouth, you speak with what? Your appearance. Your presentation is garbage, bitch. Like, you got these motherfucking furry ass sandals on, these eyelashes that look like this when you blink, you know what I mean? This lace front, they got this much motherfucking baby hair. I'm so sick of that shit. Hey, man, I'm sick of these bitches who forehead go back far as mine, you know what I mean? But they got the baby hair like this. Like, this much of their shit is baby hair. Like, bitch, in real life, people who have natural baby hair, they baby hair ain't never this motherfucking thick. It ain't never this much baby hair on nobody's head. Nobody. Like, stop doing that shit, bitch. That's why that motherfucker only want to give you $50. You know what I mean? Like, you got, and then y'all be wearing these motherfucking orange and purple and yellow ass and all these different color green, you know what I mean, lace fronts with the baby hair this motherfucker this thick. Like, man, like, think about that shit, bitch. Like, if you was a trick, bitch, would you give yourself more than $50? Like, hell no. You know what I mean? And the nigga, he don't, man, see, hey, motherfuckers is different now, man. Like me, I'm still that way. And motherfuckers from my generation, well, not all of us, because you had niggas like that back then too. I just speak for myself, man. Hey, man, I'm taking control of a bitch hoe. She gonna get a whole makeover fucking with me. Because 9 times out of 10, if you leave it up to a bitch, historically, especially a young bitch, most young bitches don't know how to dress themselves. They don't know how to do their hair. They don't know how to do their makeup. They just don't know how to do none of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, they sense of fashion and sense of style is just all fucked up. You know what I mean? And, you know, niggas just be like, they just let a bitch dress like whatever. You know what I mean? It's like a bitch went in there with a blindfold and was doing her hair and putting her clothes on, reaching in the closet, just grabbing whatever. You know what I mean? That's the first problem. And like I said, no value is being added. The second problem is the conversation. You know what I mean? She don't even know how to talk to this trick. She don't understand her value, her tools, and her weaponry as a hoe that she's supposed to have. Because whenever a hoe encounters a trick, it's a battle. It's mental warfare. It's a battle of the minds. You dig? So, yeah, man, motherfucker gotta understand how to add value to people's lives, man. And not add venom. You gotta understand what the difference is. You gotta understand what consists of venom and what consists of value. Joe Blast, good looking with the $5 holler. Enough respect, freeze, and send for the game. I appreciate you. Respect to you as well. Marty Yo, good looking with the $20 holler. You're doing good, Pete. Good job. For sure. Yeah, man. Now, hoe need to sock it to me. You dig? But yeah, man, what I want people to do is take some inventory of themselves. Take some inventory of yourself. Pay attention to your behaviors. Be honest with yourself. And pay attention to your behavior. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. Freeze. The motherfucker you listening to and looking at right now. I have been guilty of adding venom to myself and adding venom to others. I've been guilty of it. I'll be the first motherfucker to say it, right? So I'm not perfect. And guess what? Neither are you. So you've been guilty of adding venom to other motherfuckers' lives and to your own life at some point in time or another. Right? So you got to be honest with yourself and examine yourself and determine whether or not your mind is wired to add venom to your own life and add venom to the lives of others, or if your mind is wired to add value to your own life and value to the lives of others. One thing that's going to help you is to understand your own value. A lot of motherfuckers underestimate themselves. A lot of motherfuckers don't understand how valuable they are. Like, a lot of you don't understand how valuable you are. Like, seriously, even if you ain't got shit, the fact that you are a human being who can inhale and exhale and bleed blood and have a coherent, comprehensive mind, just that alone makes you so valuable. Because it's a lot of motherfuckers that ain't got that shit. It's a lot of motherfuckers who don't have their mind. It's a lot of motherfuckers who they're not able-bodied. But even if you ain't able-bodied, the fact that you have your mind makes you so valuable. Hey, it's some cold motherfuckers. Speaking of people that ain't able-bodied, it's a couple of individuals that I know of in the game that can't even walk. And man, pimping their ass off. I'm talking about seriously. You know what I mean? Michael Conception is another individual who cannot walk, who does not have the activity of his legs. Brilliant mind, though. Cold businessman, was a cold gangster back in the days. Power of influence is just off the chain. You know what I mean? So this is somebody who can't even get up and walk around like your ass can every day. So, man, and it's sad that oftentimes with ourselves, as the urban culture, right? We don't understand our value until something gets taken away from us, like somebody losing the ability to walk, or somebody losing their freedom, becoming incarcerated. It's sad that oftentimes we have to get put in those situations to come in tune with our value and understand our power and what we're capable of, right? Don't let that be your situation. Don't let that be your story. One thing I appreciate about Tookie, right? Tookie Williams, one of the original West Side Crips, right? And probably the most famous Crip ever. Tookie, right? When the Crips was, growing and coming of age, it was real popular among the Crips to go to jail, get swole in jail, and then come out of jail on swole, right? Like, everybody who was on swole back then, 9 times out of 10, the majority of them, not all of them, but a lot of them dudes didn't get on swole until they got incarcerated, right? And sometimes some of them would even brag about that shit, right? Like, man, if I end up going to the pen, man, I'm gonna come back swole as a motherfucker, right? This was just like the mindset of the majority of the Crips back then, right? So when Tookie saw all of this going on, he determined to himself, he was like, man, I'm gonna be the biggest, swollest Crip without having to go to prison. I'm gonna do that shit on the streets, right? He understood the value in that. So he added that value to himself And then guess what that did? He inspired others to add that value to themselves. So it then became a thing for Crips to just be on swole, period. Whether you go get locked up or whether you on the streets. Niggas is working out. It just became a customary thing for Crips back then to work out wherever they was at. You know what I mean? But Tookie inspired that. He inspired motherfuckers to be that way, so he added value to his community in that way. You know what I mean? But that's just an example of, you know, us in the urban culture not understanding our value until we get put in a compromising situation like being incarcerated. You know, a lot of times it takes for us to get locked up to want to read and educate ourselves and nourish our minds and, you know, exercise and eat better and all that type of shit, right? But people don't understand why that tends to happen only when somebody gets locked up. A big part of the reason why we come in tune with our value once we get locked up is because at that point we isolated from all the distractions. But guess what? You don't have to become isolated to get, or you don't have to become incarcerated to isolate yourself from all the distractions. I just told you what I did, and you don't have to do what I do, but you might have other things in your life that's distracting you. Me, myself, I understand that social media can serve as a major distraction. So guess what I did? I deleted all the social media off of my phone. Right? And at the same time that I've deleted all the social media off my phone, my health and fitness become more intense. I'm more serious about working out and getting my body right. And my reading becomes more intense. I'm more serious about educating myself and feed my mind in reading. You know what I mean? Instead of doing this shit all day. Looking at stupid, dumbass posts all day. Liking on shit. Getting in the comment section on a bunch of bullshit. Nah, I'd rather read. I'd rather take that time to read, man. It's only 1,440 minutes within a day. So I'm not trying to spend none of the 1,440 minutes sound like a lot of minutes, but it really ain't though. It really ain't. And that's why I like to look at the day in terms of minutes as opposed to hours. You know what I mean? People always, oh, you know, you only got 24 hours within the day. That's cool. You know what I mean? But, you know, I like to look at the day in terms of minutes because the increments are smaller. And if you looking at each minute as something that you can't waste, you know what I mean? At least that's what works for me. I look at each minute as something that I can't waste. I look at each minute with value. You know what I mean? I got to make each minute, each one of these 1,440 minutes today, I got to make those count. I can't waste none of these motherfuckers. So guess what? If you get in my DM, if you see some bullshit about that boy lying on me, you know what I mean? If he tell you that Freeze got pregnant by a police officer and then you put that motherfucker in my DM, guess what I'm not going to waste a minute doing? I'm not going to waste 1 minute opening that motherfucker. I'm not going to waste 1 minute reading that motherfucker. I'm not going to waste 1 minute thinking about that shit like, damn, man, this nigga always lying about me. This nigga always talking about me. Damn. I'm not wasting no minutes doing none of that shit because each one of my 1,440 minutes today have to count. They have to matter. You know what I mean? Because each one of these 1,440 minutes that I use to add value to myself means that I can add value to other people's lives. You know what I mean? But if I spend some of them 1,440 minutes gossiping and entertaining gossip, and then I take some of them 1,440 minutes and send a message about some gossip to another motherfucker, like, I'm not doing myself no good and I'm not doing them any good. So I don't have time for that shit. You dig? I do got time to kick game. I do got time to soak up game. I got time to add value to myself, and I got time to add value to others. So yeah, that's what I'm on. But I say all of that to say, unfortunately, it's when we get incarcerated that we understand the value of the minutes that we have within a day. And you can put yourself in that mind frame right now. You don't have to get incarcerated in order to think about that. It's just that oftentimes we get forced. Our choices are narrowed down. You know what I mean? And that's the bottom line of it. When you narrow down your choices, your options to do this or do that with your time, when your choices of how you spend your time become narrowed down, a lot of times that's when you're going to find greatness within yourself. That's when you're going to recognize the value within yourself. And then you're going to intensify the value within yourself. And then you're going to, from there, add value to the lives of others. You dig? So yeah, man, like that's really what it's about, man. Narrow down the options that you have on how you spend your time. It shouldn't be an option to waste time. That's really what it is. All the options that are available to us, if we're not intentional about it, all the options that are available to us to waste time, you know what I mean? Watching twerk videos, watching this bitch twerk, shake her ass for so much time. Watching, or getting in the comment section and engaging in negative conversations and shit like that. You know what I mean? Calling my partner or calling a bitch, you know what I mean, to gossip about some shit that I seen on social media. You know what I mean? Talk about, motherfuckers who get vaccinated. You know what I mean? Or if I'm a vaccinated motherfucker, talk about people that ain't vaccinated. Talk about why I gotta wear this fucking mask everywhere I go. Or talk about, man, shit, y'all, that's y'all over there. Shit, we ain't gotta wear the mask over here where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, just all of the choices that you have on how you spend your time. If you narrow that shit down to constructive and progressive activities, then you leave yourself no choice but to add value to yourself and then add value to the lives of others. That's what it's all about, man. But, I got to go add some value to these motherfucking yokes, you know what I mean? Go to that motherfucking gymnasium, man, and get it in. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this live up. As always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And before we go, if you have not wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now. What I mean by that, hit that like button one time, please, and thank you. Blue Hunted, as always, good looking with the $10 holler, man. Blessings to you, Freeze. Great game. I appreciate you, man, as always. But yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for commenting, sharing, liking. I appreciate you for subscribing and hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate the cash apps. I just appreciate y'all, adding value to the channel in every which way that you can, man. You already know, man. And before we go, if you got some love on deck, take a sip with a pimp one time. You dig? But yeah, Freeze is it. If y'all out moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. I'll holler.